I'm Scott, and this is episode 27 of What Makes This Map Great. This is the series where we take a deep dive into some classic games that hold a special place in my gaming heart. We're going to explore their amazing level design, beautiful art, creative combat encounters, as well as uncover their secrets and see just how much they've influenced the gaming world. And in this episode, we're covering Quake's final map, SHUB-NIGGURATH'S Pit. All sources used for this video will be linked down in the description below. If you're truly enjoying the work that I'm doing here on this channel, please like, sub, do all the YouTube stuff. It is greatly appreciated. Let's get into it. SHUB-NIGGURATH'S Pit is the final map of Quake. And this epic conclusion is brought to us by the icon of sin himself, John Romero. The portal to Shub's Pit is hidden under the introduction map, but can only be accessed once the player completes all 4 episodes of Quake and obtains all 4 runes. This map begins in a flooded crypt, dropping you in hot to a pool full of rotfish. Here in this crypt, you'll find a one-of-a-kind lava-filled teleporter, which brings you to the frightful Otherworld Cathedral of SHUB-NIGGURATH. It's a big open space with a trap-filled catwalk that goes along the outer edge of a giant lava pit, which in the center is home to Shubby herself. And yes, outside of some devilish traps, there are some big bads that are going to try their best to stop you from defeating the witch goddess. We've got rotfish, a single scrag, several boars, and a lot of shamblers. The map has one little secret which we'll make sure to uncover because it gives you a quad damage that comes super clutch in defeating all of these epic monsters. And the biggest mystery, how do you defeat an ancient god? We'll go over that as well. To give some context of the player experience up to this point in Quake, it all started at the Slipgate Complex, a military base that is home to a machine capable of dimensional travel known as the Slipgate. An evil entity codenamed Quake sends its own forces through from the other side, defeating and turning all soldiers into mindless grunts. Ranger, the lone marine played by you, fights their way through with a mission to defeat this evil force and put an end to Quake. You step through the Slipgate and enter the Dimension of the Doomed, a realm that is home to old haunted castles and dark underground caverns with monsters beyond our understanding. After conquering every obstacle, Ranger defeats Cathan, the realm's guardian, and obtains the rune of Earth Magic. He discovers that a rune of magical power awaits him at the conclusion of each of Quake's haunted lands. Ranger then proceeds to the realm of black magic, where his fight continues through decaying castles, dark crypts, and ominous mansions. Nothing can stop him. He destroys the Vor sisters and acquires the rune of black magic. The rune whispers dark thoughts into your brain and reveals that the Hell Mother SHUB-NIGGURATH is behind all of this. You also learn that once armed with all 4 runes, the gate to SHUB-NIGGURATH'S Pit will open, and you can face the witch goddess herself in her frightful Otherworld Cathedral. Ranger continues his mission, travels through the next Slipgate in search of the 3rd rune in the Netherworld, a dark and barren place full of vaults and tombs, primal fear in a strange dimension. Surviving horrors of the Chambers of Torment, you grasp the rune of Hell Magic. Its terrible secrets blight your mind. Gathering the shreds of your courage, you become ever more determined to destroy the hideous creatures whose mere existence threatens the souls and psyches of all the population of Earth. Ranger continues on through the 4th and final Slipgate into the Elder World, where your worst nightmares come true. Arcane and abstraction combined, with eldritch horrors threatening Ranger's sanity. Despite the awful might of the Elder World, you persist and grit through the barrage of claws and teeth and obtain the rune of Elder Magic. You become aware of SHUB-NIGGURATH'S plans to clear off all life from Earth and bring her own foul offspring to our world. Now, you have all 4 runes. You sense tremendous invisible forces moving to unseal ancient barriers. SHUB-NIGGURATH had hoped to use the runes herself for her devious plans, but you will now use them to enter her home and confront her as an avatar of avenging Earth life. Too painful to be a dream, too real to be a nightmare. Once all of this is over, Ranger hopes that he will be able to find a slipgate out of this place and return home. Let's not waste any more time. Let's dive right in. We descend into SHUB-NIGGURATH'S pit, and quite literally, it's a drop into a pool of murky water filled with rotfish. And they're hungry. Let's take them down quickly. It's a waterlogged crypt. Who knows what depths of what nightmarish realm we've arrived in. Personally, I'm glad to see the medieval texture set making a comeback in this map. Complementing the muddy water, walls consist of overgrown, mossy rocks. My imagination likes to think that this may have been a castle a long time ago. Notice these double arches? Time hasn't been kind to this place. But also, old iron bars seal the way forward. Again, an old ancient castle lost to time, now buried deep within this unknown realm. And this thunderbolt has also been lost to time. We'll make sure to grab that a little later. Back where we dropped into this watery grave, a small dark tunnel invites us in. Make sure to take a deep breath, because it's a long way to the other side. And that's the way we must take to open the gates. Blast this rotfish and keep swimming. This damn gate can't open fast enough. Grab the thunderbolt. Gasping for air, a scrag welcomes us. Easy. Check this out. A hellish teleporter gate stands before us, flanked by torches. And sprawled out in front of us like a red carpet are supplies and a double-barreled shotgun. This is the first time we've seen a teleporter utilizing a lava texture for its swirly effect. Also, the metal frame has sharp, teeth-like features, a hint of the dangers yet to come. Whatever awaits us on the other side, it doesn't seem to mind providing us weapons and supplies. Grab those items. We step through and catch a glimpse of a strange, spiky orb floating ahead of us. These halls with old stone that appears to be flaking away are tall. Looking up, they disappear into darkness. Wind and the crackling sound of torches breaks the silence as they also light the way forward. And we also see a welcoming sight. Our old friend, the rocket launcher. These supplies will come in use. As we proceed forward, more weapons are laid about this tall, narrow corridor. Maybe these are weapons left behind by prior champions that have ventured into this dark place. After all, This is the dark cathedral of the ancient god we must slay, known as SHUB-NIGGURATH. She stands on a platform surrounded by lava, with a shambler next to her standing guard. The ancient stone creates a tall chasm. We even catch glimpses of tall, narrow openings in the background surrounding her chamber. Shub is massive, dwarfing the shambler. Tentacles and flesh, eldritch horror unlike anything we've seen in all of Quake. The sight of her would shatter the minds of any human being. But Ranger is no ordinary human. You have traveled through 4 nightmarish realms, carry the 4 runes of ultimate power from each respective realm, and open the way to this hellish place. Ranger, in a way, has become a monster himself. Notice that the shambler is somehow taking damage as it moves around. That's because there's a pain volume on Shub's Island. Here, I have God mode turned on, and you notice that my screen flinches when I cross a barrier. This is to prevent you from going toe-to-toe with Shub, or potentially taking a shortcut and rocket jumping from her island to another spot on the map. I like to think that her presence alone makes it dangerous to get close to her. Send nails to the shambler and use this corner as cover. Once the shambler is dead, it triggers this wall to our left to open, revealing the path forward, as well as another shambler. And another. As well as a Vor. Yeah, Vors and Shamblers will spawn in on a timer, one by one dropping down into this uphill catwalk along the side of Shub's lava pit. They'll be doing their best to shred you up and destroy you before reaching this teleporter at the end of the path. To make matters worse, there are also painful traps along the way, like this spike crusher. First timers, you don't get any hints that this thing comes out of the wall, just pain when encountered, and makes it hard to retreat. Continuing up this winding path, there are a few nail shooters. Most of them are quite visible. A well-timed jump can help avoid some damage, or just move quickly while passing through. But there is one that is hidden in darkness. Here, I fire my weapon so that the muzzle flash illuminates this dark corner. It's a nasty setup, but thankfully, it's a broken nail shooter. More on that later in the trivia section of this video. Oh, and once you pass that last nail shooter, a Vor spawns in front of this teleporter. So many Vors and Shamblers, elite of the monster lineup, to protect this teleporter. Let's run through this and take it from the top. Super nails to the Shambler. The wall opens. Thunderbolt the Shambler quickly. Destroy the Vor. Avoid these traps. Don't be like me here. Vor drops in. Shambler tries to catch our 6. So odd, watching that orb float around and through Shub. There's a secret nearby. Look over the edge. Carefully drop down. Follow this tight catwalk path. And you found a secret. This quad damage is great. We can now sweep through SHUB's otherworldly cathedral and destroy all of her eldritch creations. Beautiful. We made quick work of them all. Even quadded rockets handle shamblers fairly well. Just watch your distance if you decide to use the rocket launcher. It seems like we've eliminated all of SHUB's evil spawns. Using every weapon in our arsenal, we can't seem to kill her. Not even our mighty axe seems to do anything. She bleeds, so therefore, we can kill her. But how? First-time players would probably hit a bit of a wall here. I know I did back in the mid-90s. The first clue is with the teleporter at the end of the gameplay path. Upon taking it, more than likely, you end up falling into the lava. After a few attempts at this, the player will probably notice another clue to this puzzle. The teleport destination is that floating spiky ball in the environment. We caught a glimpse of it after going through the lava teleporter near the beginning of the map. Moving forward, I'll be referring to that spiky ball as the Dire Orb. It's the official name we got for it with the release of Quake Champions, which actually has some amazing lore regarding Ranger in the realms of Quake. Anyways, we've now figured out the teleport destination is a moving target. Watching the Dire Orb carefully, there is a point in its path where it goes right through SHUB-NIGGURATH. That's right, weapons won't do the trick, but we can definitely telefrag her. I love this. Ranger, axe in hand, chopped his way out of her and exploded SHUB in a shower of gibs. At least, that's the way I interpret this finale. It may have just been a fancy telefrag. We get one final piece of lore to celebrate the end of this masterpiece of a game. Congratulations and well done. You have beaten the hideous SHUB-NIGGURATH and her hundreds of ugly changelings and monsters. You have proven that your skill and your cunning are greater than all the powers of Quake. You are the master now. id Software salutes you. And with that, we conclude our journey through the nightmare realms of Quake. It's been an amazing journey to revisit these old but timeless maps from Quake, and I'm glad that you all joined me on this. Your mission is successful, but as some of us know, this is not the end for Ranger. We may see Ranger again in a future video. So here's the part where I go over some quick trivia regarding our featured map. On normal difficulty, while the kill counter says there are 25 kills total, you can only kill up to 19 monsters in total. 20, I guess, if you include Shubby herself. I believe that the rest are used for the Shower of Gibs celebration after you telefrag Shubby. We see a similar jibbing celebration when defeating Cathan at the end of episode 1. On a similar note, what I find interesting is that normal and hard or nightmare difficulties have the same number of enemies. Difficulty in Quake is mainly used to add more monsters to the map. Nightmare retains the number of monsters from hard mode, but the enemy AI is allowed to shoot projectiles at a faster rate. Just wanted to share that here because You'd think John Romero would have used hard difficulty to add more monsters to SHUB-NIGGURATH'S pit. I think if there were more monsters on hard mode, that final combat encounter would just be such a huge payoff for anyone who could beat it. I do wonder if anyone's ever asked John Romero that in interviews. If you happen to know, please share down in the comment section below. And for our last bit of trivia, one of the nail traps has its entity shooter pointing in the wrong direction. This causes the nail shooter to shoot into itself in the wall. Thanks, John. Probably saved us a bit of incoming damage with that bug. So, what makes Quake's final map, SHUB-NIGGURATH'S Pit, a great map? First, atmosphere and design. It successfully combines the medieval texture set to create this hellish, otherworldly cathedral vibe and aesthetic. The opening crypt that drops you down, that leads to this fiery teleporter, and having to navigate through tight, tall, dark, narrow, ancient halls that lead to this vast, dark chasm of SHUB-NIGGURATH'S pit. That entire chamber is lit by the lava pool in the center. It just creates this amazing sense of dread and finality. Let's talk about the combat encounters and the traps. We'll lump them together because it just escalates to this brutal grinder where the moment you kill that first shambler, the wall drops and the real challenge begins. You're engaging with another shambler right away. At this point, you're probably low on cells for the Thunderbolt and nails for your super nail gun, so it becomes a very tense moment. On top of that, you have a spike trap that impales you if you're moving too slowly. I think that's the first hit that John gives us, essentially telling us that we should be moving, running fast through this space to avoid getting caught up with all of these vores and shamblers that are constantly dropping down on you. And the traps are the worst. I mean, they're just taking chunks out of you. And it also adds to the element of like tense craziness going on, hearing those shooters go off, vores screeching and shamblers roaring. It truly does create an intense and memorable combat encounter. And let's talk about the unique boss mechanic. The map avoids using your weapons to shoot the boss a bunch of times to kill them. No, weapons don't work on SHUB. The player has to figure out a puzzle in that moment. For first-time players, they have no idea until they step through the teleporter, probably more than once, landing in the lava, burning up and dying, and reloading their game. But after a few more tries, hopefully the player starts to connect the dots, right? That the dire orb is the teleporter destination. And upon watching the dire orb float around in the map, it goes through SHUB-NIGGURATH. The final puzzle's a timing jump through the teleporter to telefrag SHUB-NIGGURATH. And the payoff is amazing. You see SHUB-NIGGURATH moaning and groaning in pain, and then Ranger, the hero, emerges through a shower of jibs with axe in hand. Like, such a memorable moment. And while this level didn't have a ton of secrets, there was only one. That one secret is extremely rewarding. It really rewards players who, through the mix of all the action happening, is observant and notices that ledge just down below that final teleporter. Takes you to a quad damage, which invigorates you to run back through that gauntlet and take out all of the monsters in the end. I love it. And of course, the finale, like I said, seeing Ranger emerge through SHUB-NIGGURATH, telefragging her, or maybe chopping her through her and exploding her. It just is an amazing payoff in the end. It's an epic conclusion to Ranger's journey through all of these nightmarish realms. And being the Avatar avenging Earth. Like, Ranger is such a badass. He is able to defeat an ancient cosmic horror. John Romero nailed it with SHUB-NIGGURATH'S Pit for Quake. This map is an amazing blend of atmosphere, non-stop action, and also includes a fresh puzzle to finish. It's a brutal and very unconventional way to wrap up a game. Truly, it cements John Romero's spot as one of the first-person shooter genre's founding architects for map design. What are your thoughts on Quake's finale, SHUB-NIGGURATH'S Pit? Were you able to find the quad damage secret towards the end? And how long did it take you to figure out the telefrag mechanic to defeat SHUB-NIGGURATH? Let me know down in the comments. I would love to hear your stories. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, share it with friends, and subscribe for more great gaming content. And if you're looking for more, check out this recommended video right here. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.